I'm here to talk about IT delivers among camels and carousels. It's my ordinary presentation, but we've done a twist today, so I'm going to talk about how we have optimized our IT organization to bridge the gap between IT and the business, and how to create your own and your company's success by doing so. So I'm going to have a non-tech talk. I'm going to talk about a holistic view on how to organize yourself in your IT organization. I'm going to do 5 quick slides about our company. We are the leading Nordic group in amusement and theme parks. The parks you see, it's Gröna Lund, it's Kolmården, Akvaria Vattenmuseum, Furuviksparken, and Skara Sommarland. We have an annual turnaround about 1 billion Swedish kronor. We are visited by around about 3 million guests, actually. 2.9 was last year. We hope to beat that this year. And as you can see, it snows outside. It feels far away, but actually Gröna Lund is opening in 3 weeks. So that's interesting. Who am I? I've been fiddling around in IT since '94, 22 years. Seems like half my life, which it actually is half my life. I've been on both sides of the table. So I've been in sales for 8 years. I've been a CTO. I've been a technical manager, and I've gone back to supplier. So I actually have gotten some kind of strength from that, and also a weakness. The strength is that I've seen everything is quite transparent for me. It's crystal clear when a supplier can't reach for you, can't manage to deliver what you want. But it's also a great weakness because you get such big empathy for how hard it can be to be a supplier or a customer sometimes. So the worst thing I know is to say no to a sales guy calling me every day, because I feel really bad because they try hard every day to reach out to new customers, but I don't have the time. So that's the empathy talking. I actually don't do that much at work. I help others. That's my vision. I help my suppliers succeed. I help my employees succeed. Sometimes I feel like a carpet man rolling out red carpets for everybody round about me. And if they succeed, I succeed. And then we can create great guest experiences for our guests. Because IT in our parks, that's not core business. Core business is roller coasters, grooming the animals, see the dolphins jump in the pools. That's our core business, making you as guests happy, have a wonderful experience. But you need IT to be able to deliver it. So we are 11 employees in 3 locations. We have around about 350 annual employees. During peak season, I have 10 seasonal employees delivering the IT operations in the theme parks, and they literally are standing in the middle of every park with one thermal printer in one hand and cables in the other, running to fix the roundabout 400 point of sales we have in our parks. Here's something. Every customer or supplier has something that's unique in their branch. This is our uniquity. Sorry. We're just stopping out in T1, the pre-season work, where we're grooming our animals, we're painting, building new roller coasters, etc., making deals with all the artists that are going to have concerts. And of course, in 3 weeks, the premieres are starting. We're opening our parks in sequence. And then we get the 110% SLA. Everything must work. Talk about stable IT. Skara Sommarland is one of our parks, and they actually have opened only 68 days this year. Or, so to speak, they're closed 298. So during this period, everything must work by 110% because that's what we do with the annual turnover. The rest is closed. So that's quite high pressure. And then when the season's over, the third trimester, we do our projects. And that's agile IT. Sometimes I feel like a 100-meter runner because I wait, and 1st of September, I have 4 months to create all the new IT for next season. So it's quite hard to be a supplier for us because you don't do anything for 8 months and then you do everything in 4 months. So what I'm gonna do this autumn, I don't know, because the map is always changing. So what I budget for last year, I'm not gonna do this year, because then something new has happened in our branch. When I talked to Goran about this seminar, he asked me to put 3 bullets up, 3 questions. And I thought about that. And I'm not gonna do the tech talk this time, I'm gonna try to talk about the organization. So I thought about 3 questions that I actually met when I started this journey with our organization, IT organization in Parks and Resorts. The first one, I think some of you recognize, why we always brought in last in the process. Why do they forget us when they're doing something, project or something, when they call us in the 11:45 and say, by the way, we need a network, we need a servers, we need application stuff. And why bother? Some of my colleagues in the branch say, I like my servers. Well, I think you've seen all the discussions about bimodal IT and stuff. I think it's time to address it. We have to lead the change or go back to the basement. And I'm going to answer that question about, did I succeed to turn the tanker around from when IT was something troublesome, expensive, and down in the basement to being a part of our business in Parks and Resorts. So, brought in last why. I think we're still seen as geeks. Truly. We're seen as men in white lab coats, 3 ballpoint pens. And it's okay. It's okay to be a geek. A chef could be a geek as well. He's really good at doing good dinners. But sometimes I see that today, even today. And we're not participating. I have colleagues in the branch that are always complaining about they're not invited, but invite them yourself then. Take place. And either accept it or do something about it. But stop whining. Stop whining about we're not invited, we're always brought in last in the process. Take some action. The solution is market yourself and your department. Be proud of your successes, but even your failures. Market your failures as well. Be seen. I think this is really, really important. Newsletters, intranet, everything you can think of. 8 years ago when I started writing a newsletter of every change I did in our IT environment. That newsletter came out every second week. A complete A4 document. Every second week, every change we did. Every success, every failure. Nowadays, I write a newsletter every quarter because the tempo is not that high. But market yourself. I think that's important to bridge the gap, to be seen, to make the organization understand how important IT is. Okay, why bother? I like my servers. I don't want to change. That's out of my comfort zone. Well, if you remember this paper news magazine, this is actually from November 9th, 2012. I saved this one because it says all budgets are IT budgets. That's from the Gartner Group Symposium in November. And I was thinking, that's not true, that's rocket science. But they're actually talking about the digitalization gets the CIO to lose control. And that's when we started talking about shadow IT, the cloud. The market department started buying cloud apps by themselves without the IT manager knowing it. Finance guys downloading BI tools without you knowing it. You started to lose control then. Today this is true. Nowadays every budget is an IT budget. It contains some kind of IT. You have to bother. You have to address. This, I think this discussion, you've seen it in the papers, you've seen it on the web, the CDO, the CXO, all the different titles. I think that's a buzzword. We've been digitizing for 60 years. That's our mission. Why create a new role when you should be there as a CIO and actually have that, create that? And of course, bimodal IT, the Gartner Group's definition of what you have to do today. You have to be the stable mode and the agile mode. Some say that's creating stress in the organization, in your IT organization, having two different organizations, two departments in your organization. I think my point of view is you need to have stable IT. I do have it during season, but you need to have agile IT as well. And you must act on that reality. My solution, or what I think, to be able to optimize your organization, to be able to follow these changes that's happening right now, is to start addressing first, create stable IT as a basic function. Then turn the focus to organize your department. And I actually differ between agile IT and shadow IT. Shadow IT is something you don't see. Agile IT is the fast development of new stuff and new things you have to deliver to your organization. I think you have to address both of them all the time. It's going fast. Turning the tanker. That's pretty much Swedish, actually. I succeeded. I moved our IT organization from sitting actually physically in the basement to being in the group management and adding value to our core business. What I did was communication. As I told you, the newsletters. I participated in as much as I could. Meetings, they actually asked me, why are you here? Listening. Marketing myself, my department, our success. And up to this point, yeah, that's a big must. Communication is, IT guys is really bad at communicate. We like to work. But no news is bad news. Bad news is good news. Be proud of your failures as well. Dare to tell about them. Dare to talk about them. I don't own much IT actually. I serve some infrastructural IT to my organizations. I make the IT department deliver functional IT, but it is the organization that owns their own IT. They're owning everything. Of course, system owners, yeah, we talk about that a lot. But we don't own any systems. The organization owns their own systems all the time. And why is that important? Yes, because you create engagement. You create people who actually engage in their own systems every day. And most importantly, and why I'm here today, dare to recruit bimodal. I nowadays have recruited people from other departments that not our IT personnel. We often recruit for skills, or we hire for attitude. I hired people to my department, one from the marketing department and one from the finance department. They work as project managers in my department. One of these Two of these 11 employees are project managers coming from other departments. And they still have, so to speak, one leg left in their own department. So the market person goes to market meetings, talks with the market people, as well as the finance guy. And why? Why is that important? Yes, because they speak their own language. They're going to understand where they're going to hear and understand where shadow IT is building up. The need for that special IT project, application, process that I as a CIO never can see. I will never understand the core need of a finance person or a market person. But a market person that speak marketish will understand that. But this is quite new. It's only a year old for us. But if I had said this 3 years ago, I would never have been allowed to recruit a finance guy and a market girl. But this is a true success. Because they listen, they participate more than I can do. And I hired them for skills, yes, their skills, their professional skills in finance and marketing. And then I trained them to be project managers. And they're doing IT projects, yeah. But they're adding that extra understanding to be able to deliver the best IT to the organization. And by doing that, we're actually a part of the business in Parks and Resorts. So the journey has been long, taken several years, but by this I would say that this bimodal recruiting is the icing on the cake to be able to participate in our organization. That went fast. Actually, last slide for me. But I could. We actually deliver internet to our dolphins in Kolmården. We have bottleneck dolphins at Kolmården. I don't know if you know that, but the flaskenålsdelfin in Swedish. And they're living in a hermetic, closed environment in the swimming pools at Kolmården. So it's really important for them to have a healthy water supply, because they actually do number one and do number two in the water. It's minerals, you have oxygen settings, etc., etc. And the trick with dolphins is that you can't put them to sleep. They're always awake with one left or right side brain, because they don't breathe as we autonomically. They need to think, oh, Jesus, I got to breathe. So the brain has to tell the lungs to breathe every day, every time they need oxygen. So with this as a background, you can understand as if a dolphin gets ill or sick, you can't operate it because you can't put it to sleep. So you have to have a very, very thorough control of the water quality. And this is watched over the internet by a company in Malmö, 300 kilometers away from the dolphins. And that's why it's really important to have functioning internet to the dolphins, so we can monitor the water quality from Malmö instead of from Kolmården. Because today you can't buy a dolphin. They die if they get ill because you can't operate on them. So a true story from my everyday work, I have to check that the dolphins has internet. Thank you for me.